shocking 3D printed things. Number 20. 3D printed parts. Since 3D printing has become a regular thing in our society, the world has changed in many ways. The first of which is an innovation of making parts in our 3D printers. These are a cheap alternative to their metal counterparts, and regular users say that they are very effective and not prone to breaking if the right material is used. Number 19. 3D printed dishes. Another innovation is these 3D printed dishes. We already had plastic dishes to replace our glass ones, especially to avoid breaking our nice cups and plates. Now, not only can we avoid breaking them, but we can make them ourselves. Number 18. 3D printed sports. Now you don't need to save up your allowance to get that new skateboard. Just enough to buy the printer material, which is much cheaper, and just like that, you have a brand new skateboard along with a wide variety of other sports equipment. Number 17. 3D printed models. It is now possible to make plastic models of just about anything to which you apply your mind. If you collect action figures or animal figurines like the ones pictured above, why not make your own? Why would you go through the financial hassle of buying them with your hard-earned money? Number 16. 3D printed instruments. Now it is even possible through the wonder of 3D printing to make your own instruments. Have you ever wanted to start a band but the cost of instruments and equipment is too expensive? This is a viable solution to that issue as per the fact that 3D printing is cheap in comparison to the cost of instruments. Number 15. 3D printed clothing. Not only can you print out useful tools and appliances, but you can also print out clothes of all sorts. Shoes, shorts, shirts, socks, you name it, and you can 3D print it. This brings about a new era where school shopping will be a thing of the past. Welcome to the era of school printing, folks. Isn't it wonderful? Number 14. 3D printed safety. Not only can you print clothes and appliances, but you can print safety as well. No, not the concept of safety itself, but you can sure as heck print a helmet. Helmets that you buy in the store, at least cycling helmets, are made of plastic and styrofoam to protect your head. Now you can make this with 3D plastic on your own printer, and you can make it whatever color scheme you wish to boot. Number 13. 3D printed replica. People can now print 3D replicas of their favorite things. If you're a video game fan, you probably know what this is in the picture. If you aren't, well, it's a portal gun from the game series Portal. Someone 3D printed this perfect scale replica. You can print any replica you want though. It could be anything from a prop from your favorite movie to your favorite sword in The Lord of the Rings to a replication of really anything you could ever want. Some 3D printers can even replicate food products. Number 12. 3D printed toys. Toys can be expensive. This is a sad but true fact of life for all of those parents out there in the world. Your kid really wants that new toy, but it's just too expensive right now, and you cannot justify spending the money on it. This is where the 3D printer comes in. You can print out virtually any toy you can imagine, and you can do it almost to the same specs as the original manufacturer would themselves. Number 11. 3D printed phone cases. Why keep buying yourself a new phone case every time yours becomes dull and boring to you? Phone cases can be expensive, especially nice ones with designs and colors. Why not 3D print them? With this method, you will save on your monthly phone case purchases while also having the freedom to create entirely custom cases that express who you are as a person, not just what you can afford. Number 10. 3D printed tools. This is a major innovation brought about by the 3D printing industry. Tools are notoriously expensive, and cheap tools are notoriously breakable. This forces an ultimatum which usually ends in you spending your hard-earned money because you didn't have the right size of screwdriver. 3D printed tools though, made from a high polymer plastic that is sturdy, durable, and flexible are equally cheap and effective, and you could print one right out in your own home. Number 9. 3D printed Legos. Legos can be great fun for kids and adults alike. However, there's always a problem of not being able to find the right piece or in the right color. Then you are left helpless until you go to the store and buy an all-new Lego set, which is very expensive just to get the piece you need for your creative masterpiece. With a 3D printer, this is no longer an issue. You can have any part you want, in any shape, and in any color, and will work cohesively with all the Legos you already have. Number 8. 3D printed art. Some skilled artists use many different forms of artistic tools. Now the 3D printer has become a new instrument for the creative community. The skull shown in this picture is an example of that. The 3D printer allows for a lot of creative freedom, and you can really make anything that you set your mind to. You would just have to be skilled in the design process involved in making schematics for a 3D printer. Number 7. 3D printed machinery. It is possible to make a working piece of machinery with a 3D printer. While the schematics for such a thing would be very involved and would require some decent 3D experience, it is an interesting application. How long before we were printing all of our machines out on an industrial scale? Number 6. 3D printed convenience. There are many ways that you can use a 3D printer to the benefit of your convenience. The phone stand shown in the picture is just one example of that. You can make tablet stands, handlebar grips, and cup holders, just to name a few. Everyone loves when things are convenient, and with a 3D printer, you can experience customized convenience with no strings attached. Number 5. 3D printed jewelry. Now at first, this may seem like a way of producing cheap knockoffs by printing them out. This is a misconception. 3D printers have been made to print all kinds of materials, so when it's said that you could 3D print jewelry, it should be known that jewelry would not have to be made of plastic unless you wanted. You can print metals, minerals, and even obscure things like food and skin. So why spend all that money on that jewelry you saw at the store when you could just make it yourself? Number 4. 3D printed prosthetics. 3D printing has revolutionized the world of prosthetics. Prosthetics used to be a very expensive investment, and this meant that people who lost an arm or leg could never have a replacement because they couldn't afford it. If the 3D printer does anything exceptionally, it is making things affordable. Nowadays, you can just go and print yourself up a leg, and when you get tired of that one, no problem, print another. This has been a huge benefit for disadvantaged medical patients around the world. Number 3. 3D printed furniture. Now you don't even have to buy furniture in this new 3D printing future. Just print it out. The best thing about this, besides the cost of course, is that you don't have to bend to the rules of traditional furniture. Make that weird chair like the one in the picture, or any other manner of sitting utensil that your mind can conjure up. Number 2. 3D printed microscopic models. 3D printing on the microscopic level is now a thing. Why? Because we can. And that is all the reason we as humans need to justify something. The picture was taken from a microscope camera, and the object depicted is a race car. This just goes to show how far we have come with 3D printing and how far we have to go.
And now for number 1. But first, be sure to subscribe for new videos every day.
Number 1. 3D printed car. Now our transportation industry is starting to be shaped by the 3D printing industry. We can now efficiently print out cars in their entirety, and major companies such as Tesla and Acura are taking advantage of this and employing the use of 3D printers to help make whole sections of their new car models. 3D printers have touched everything from the world of toys to the world of travel, and there's more of yet to come, without a doubt.